Hi everyone. So for week 6 discussion, I just wanted to talk about something we all have to navigate sometimes, like why we make health choices the way we do, and what really drives those choices. So the first one was behavior and motivation. So the question to ask is, ask us, why do we think people engage in risky behavior, like drug use? I think that sometimes people are looking for an instant gratification. So, when we look at people that do drugs or alcohol abuse, it's usually stemming from they felt this type of way, so they want to feel instant gratification to feel better. They could be depressed, they could have experienced something traumatic in their life, and that's what drove them to the drugs. That's what drove them to alcohol abuse. Even sometimes so simple as, okay, I had like a rough week at work, let me just wind down and have some wine, a wind down Wednesday. So I think it's usually just like to make us feel better. I think that's why people engage in risky behavior. I don't think that their first thought or their first like initial experience is for them to, get hooked onto something and get addicted. I think that they feel bad or they feel whatever type of emotion and they don't want to feel that anymore. So then they do drugs or they do alcohol and they experience this and they say, wow, this makes me feel better. This makes me feel like I forgot all of my problems. And then they always want that high. So that's what turns into the abuse. That's what turns into the addiction. Um, why do others exercise regularly and eat healthy? This is actually something that I've been struggling with because I am trying to work out more and I'm trying to get into a better healthy lifestyle. I think the end result is like you want to live longer, right? You want to have a healthier lifestyle. You want to feel better within yourself. So that's what motivates people to go to the gym, to eat healthy. Sometimes it can be like someone has had a health scare. So that has drive them and that has turned everything around. So they want to be healthy and they want to go to the gym. Um, I know I read a book one time that was The Power of Habit, and I believe it was like 30 days to break a habit or create change, and there was like different steps in there and like cues and things like that. So it was like you would say what you want to do, like the new behavior. You would figure out how you want to do it. You would create a cue, like say if I go to the gym, okay, when I go to the gym 3 times a week, I'm going to reward myself with a smoothie. So then it becomes a routine, so then it makes you want to do that, and once you want to have the smoothie, so you're going to go to the gym 3 times a week so you can get that. um yeah, and that's something that I struggle with. So maybe that's something that I need to look more into, to break that habit and go to the gym and not just put it off. What are the key factors that contribute to motivation? I think some of the key factors that contribute to motivation is like why you want to do it. So, what is the underlying reason of what you're trying to do? Motivation, it can also be like you can create a goal, and that goal can motivate you, or you can find different things to reach that goal. Okay, if I want to get an A in this class, I'm going to feel motivated. I want to do my work. I want to complete my assignments on time. I might not feel like, oh, okay, I want to do this discussion, or, oh, okay, I'm running a little behind with my project. But at the end, okay, I have a 4.0. I want to keep my 4.0. So let me keep going and feel motivated so I can get the A that I want to get. If we're talking about some of the readings that we did, the CDC article, it pointed out environmental and social cues, like what I was talking about before, peer pressure, availability, stress. I feel like stress is a big one that drives people to do certain things that they normally wouldn't do. Like if it's the drugs or if it's the alcohol or just making poor decisions in general. I feel like that's sometimes what drives people to do those things. Um, an example, yeah, like when I was saying about the gym or when I was reading that Power of the Habit book, Power of Power of Habit. I did use that to help me initially to go to the gym and stuff. And then I had a health scare, so then I wasn't able to go to the gym anymore. And I feel like ever since then, I haven't really been consistent with going to the gym. So now I'm trying to find that new space of, okay, well, what motivates me? I feel like if I have like a trip or something coming up, then I'm like, oh yeah, let me get my body right, let me get in shape, let me get this, so I can look and I can feel good on the trip. But then when I come back from the trip, where's the goal? Because I don't have another trip planned up, so I don't have another thing to motivate me. So I think that I have to go back to the drawing board and see things like why I need to start going to the gym, which ultimately so I can be healthy. So if there's like any underlying diseases, I can remove those, or I can lessen my chances at the behaviors or at the diseases and stuff that are prevalent within my family. So I think that this discussion was a good one for this week because it really helps us to sit back and self-reflect on things that we need to do within ourselves and things that we need to find motivation for.